Canfield. March 4th, 2025, in the boardroom. Call to order. Pledge allegiance. Director Hanson, would you like to lead us today?
I'd be honored. Salute. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Director Parker. Here. Director Ballantyne. Here. Hanson.
Here.
Croco. Director Croco. Here. Director Allred here. All here and accounted for. Approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve with the change of action item B being taken off.
4B.
Item
4B.
Second.
Well, it's action item. Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Vote carries unanimously. Community announcements. We have no community speakers. This is where we are. Yes.
The microphone over there.
Just feel so far away from you guys.
Oh,
That was
well, that way it picks up on the.
recorded. It's recorded.
How's that?
Perfect.
Can you hear me okay?
Even better.
Can you hear me now?
All right, can you hear me now? Wonderful. My name is Dave Van Hoy, and the reason I'm here is a letter I received Saturday from the post office from Dave Smith, Mojave Air and Spaceport, and it's a 30-day notice to cure or quit. And it involves Dean Smith's apparent sublease of my hangar 962. So I do have a request for you, but first just a little information, because not all of you know me. You know, my name's Dave Van Hoy. I'm currently the tech director / deputy director of the Air Force Test Pilot School. Been in that role for 15 years. And Ms. Kathy, we got to fly yesterday because we do have heavy, powerful airplanes, unlike some of the planes around here, and mostly the winds were down the runway, so that helps. It's this amazing job that I have. I'm really blessed to work with such great people and such an impactful mission. Been in the Antelope Valley for 36 years. Been flying over these skies for 36 years. So I'm a lifetime civilian, civil servant, flight test engineer. Been fortunate in my relationship to Mojave. First time I had an airplane here was 2003, and did my first flight on a home-built Giles G202, which you may have seen flying around the sky. It's blue and yellow and loud, single engine, 2-seat composite, unlimited class aerobatic airplane. So first flight of that was January 2004. So it's been flying for 21 years. I've had an airplane on the airport for 22 years. In 2009, was able to purchase hangar 962 when it came open. So I've had that hangar since that time. In 2014-ish, I was very fortunate to acquire a North American T6. The difficulty was it was too big to fit in my hangar. You know, it's 42-foot wingspan, so a 40 by 40 hangar doesn't quite work. So since 2014, I've been moving into the airplanes and equipment through several different hangars that allowed the size to fit the bigger airplane. And then 2019-ish, I moved to Tehachapi with my wife. We live up in Bear Valley. So yesterday I was in the snow with the clouds all through my house, or right around the house, and it was cold. And then today it's just beautiful outside. So it reminds me of why I love it down here. Sunshine and wonderful weather. So we moved up there. I was fortunate to find a hangar that was large enough for both my airplanes and moved them both up there 2019, 2020-ish. And from the 2014 time on, like I mentioned, the T6 was in 2 different hangars, the 202 was in 3 different hangars. A number of arrangements with different folks to barter for space in different hangars, and part of those arrangements included using space in my hangar. And all those circumstances, none of them had any type of official sublease agreement. So I really wasn't aware that that was required, to be honest with you. I haven't been on the airport since 2004, where I rented space in somebody's hangar. I didn't know anything about sublease agreements, bad on me, but never had one, never used one. So I was a little bit surprised when I got this email about not having an official sublet agreement with Dean, because since I moved to Tehachapi, he did have space in my hangar that he was using. Currently, he's got an airplane and a project in there. Understand that we don't have an official agreement. So I look back at the lease, and yes, it says that any official sublease agreement needs to be approved by the board. It was not approved by the board, so I don't have a sublease agreement with him. So the 90-day or 30-day cure or quit was I need to get him out of the hangar. Now, I know that Dean is an interesting character, and he's had his run-ins with the board over the years. I've had my run-ins with him, as other folks have. I will say that currently I haven't had any issues with him, but he's just keeping stuff stored in my hangar. So that's just a little background. Oh, one more thing. In all the time that I've been at Mojave, I haven't had any issues with me personally that I know of. And of all the time that I've been leasing land for my hangar 962, I've never been late on any payments. So I don't think that was the issue. It's just the fact that I didn't have a sublease agreement with Dean that violates my lease. And now I have 30 days, but truly it was 20 days from the time I got the letter to get him out of the hangar. You know Dean probably better than I do, but I know him well enough to know that 20 days is going to be a challenge, an incredible challenge for me to make that happen. So my request for you is to debate this. I'm used to teaching. We use our hands, and we do this a lot, right? My request to you is to consider extending this cure quit to 90 days and moving it to the end of May. I think with that time frame, I can work to get him completely out of the hangar. So I just need more time. So that's what I'm asking you to consider.
Hey, let me just say that last week, Mr. Van Hoy and Mr. Smith and I had a meeting, and he raised this issue. And because this is a matter of potential litigation, it is on the closed session agenda for today. And so if the board is inclined to discuss this, let's discuss it in closed session, and then we can let Mr. Van Hoy know whatever the board's decision is after the meeting.
And just another piece of information, I've got a 90-day notice to quit that I'm ready to serve to Dean from me, telling him that he needs to vacate my premises by said date. And I don't have the dates filled out yet. My hope is it's 90 days from term of service, which would be on or about the end of May. And in that time frame, I will do my due diligence to get him out of my hangar.
All right, then. Thank you, sir.
Questions from anybody? Are you guys allowed to ask questions?
I don't think so because of closed sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know closed sessions, you'll discuss it. If you need more information from me, I'll leave. Well, Kathy has my phone number and my email.
Council and Dave will
They can get a hold of me. Kathy can find me anywhere. Yeah. We've been corresponding for years.
So we appreciate your time.
Happy to provide any other intel for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to be my random person for a change.
Thank you. All right, item C, consent agenda. Staff recommends approval of consent items by one motion. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those, any conversation? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? You have unanimous decision. Item 4, action items. Resolution approving an amended budget for fiscal year commencing July 1.
Hi, yeah, good afternoon. We do this each year. These are just to make some small changes to the budget. Anything large. We try not to make any huge changes at this time. It's just kind of to align to our actuals. And just some things as we've moved on for the year. Just to kind of highlight some of the changes that we are doing. There was one project that we are working on that I did move. Originally, we had put it into supplies. Some of the items we are leaving into the operating budget. There's the foam project that we are in the fire department. Due to environmental, we have to change out the foam system on the fire trucks. So we have to dispose of the foam and get new foam. So some of like the new foam and the disposal, I'm gonna leave in the operating side of it. But the equipment that's going on the trucks, I did move that into a capital project. So that's why I kind of shifted those. So no additional dollars, but just kind of shifted it to the proper, allocated it to
How
the
much was
proper.
the equipment?
The equipment was 157,000.
Okay.
That's doing all 4 trucks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so rather than put that in the operating, so we're not gonna go into a capital item for us. The other item is for our Dynamics, our accounting software. It is outdated and we have been told, I've been holding on, that we needed to update it for tax purposes. It needs to go to the cloud. So it's a one-time fee of $40,000. So to make that transition and to do it now, so in that way we can start it before we hit the end of the year. So we're not trying to make this change
Yeah.
at the end of the year, so we can work with
Be ready.
Jason. We can make the change now. So when we're working with the audit and all of that, we'll get through some of it.
Does it make it easier for the auditors in any way?
It won't make it for them. It will make it for us if anybody's working remote. We're actually on the cloud. We won't have servers to work with. So it will be helpful on that. And keeping everything updated with our provider. You know, they tell us that, you know, our 1099s, everything won't align. They'll no longer support us. They won't. So they've kind of been telling us the last 2 or 3 years this is coming. So we've been putting it off because it'll be a transition for us as well.
Something new to learn.
Something new to learn.
Yes.
So I have been putting it off.
It's
Upfront cost of 40,000.
Yeah,
And there's subscription or maintenance fees.
there is maintenance fees. It'll be about 3,000 a year
Okay.
after that. So this is the one time. And 3,000 is about what we've been paying right now.
Okay.
So this is the one time. So
How often do you have to upgrade?
it varies.
Doesn't change it.
I was gonna say, I think it's probably been it's been over 15 years since we've actually done this kind of a transition with our accounting software. So, but going in the cloud, kind of everything is going towards cloud-based.
So no more changing the tape and the typewriter.
No,
when
yeah,
you fill out the 1099s.
Exactly, yeah. So those are kind of on that, repairs and maintenance, increasing that a little bit just based on the cost of everything.
Yeah.
We needed to increase that and things that we've changed. To make up for some of the increase in the cost of like the accounting, I was able to bring down communication and also engineering services just based on our actual communication. We had some things that we're able to decrease the cost in. So we were able to bring that down. Utilities, increase that just based on the cost of utilities this year as we moved on. Depreciation, I did increase that. We did close out Taxiway Charlie. So with closing that out, our depreciation has increased in the last few months. So we will see an increase next year as well when we close out 1230 as well.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily impact our cash. It just impacts the depreciation on the books. But we do have to budget for it.
Not related to that, but are we waiting for any FAA funds to come in?
We are
Significant?
we have a $500,000 draw that we could still do on Taxiway Alpha on the lighting, which we have the money out. So we will receive that money back. waiting on that one just because it's so close to being able to be closed. And that was just one
Okay.
invoice. And then also we have, 150,000 that we can get back from Caltrans for 1230 once we close that, and that should be closed here in the next 2 months. So we do have probably about 700,000 that we.
Okay, I was
We'll
looking
get
at
that.
that balance.
Yep.
Just wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that could come in the next like 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
And then increased on property tax and interest income, just based on kind of where we're at. That was when we started the year. So making those changes on the capital, on the overall projects. As of right now, we did, just based on, not that we're not planning on the GA hangars, but for us, on projects, we don't anticipate, doing any taxi lanes or doing any projects by June 30th. So we just removed it out of our kind of
Okay.
capital, but we definitely will put it back in when we get the new year going. We just didn't want to allocate the funds. It's still, we didn't reallocate it. It's still there for next year.
Okay.
But no big changes. Those are just the items that we've kind of shifted around. But we're just asking for you to approve the resolution just to make these changes that we made to the budget for this year.
All right.
Any public comment?
And ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dave Smith here. Carrie has reviewed all these with me, and in my impression, they are all appropriate and justified. Over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Public, do I have a motion? Approve the resolution?
I'll motion to approve the resolution amending the budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1st.
Second.
Second. Motion by Director Valentine, second by Mr. Ashworth. Roll call. All those in favor?
Aye. Please ask for public comment.
Oh, sorry, I did the public
he did.
comments. I have to do it afterwards.
No, you're supposed to do it before.
I didn't do it before.
He did.
I know, he did do it. Scott had a glitch.
I must not have heard it. My apologies.
Oh, man.
I was so enraptured in Carrie's explanation that I skipped that part.
Terry's on his game today. You better listen sharp.
I know.
I've been practicing. Okay, so we had a unanimous. Do we motion?
Yeah, we had a motion and a second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. Reports. Carrie?
These are the, and when we did the mid-year budget, we took the financials for January 30th, the end of January. Bank balance decreased 163,000. The operating revenue, we were at 60%. Operating expenses, we were at 55%. Fuel cells, 114,000 gallons. AR, no changes on that. High Desert Wireless and Dragon Aviation, which you guys will continue to talk about Dragon Aviation in closed session. Fitness Center had a large increase in January to 781 members, but that will go back down. That was because of the Air Force being here in January. So they had the increase in members.
Well,
but
that's
they
what it
will-
was. I thought
Yeah.
Really temporary?
Yeah, so they just all checked in and then so they'll check, the number will go back down. But
Still good numbers.
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, still
No.
good numbers.
No, they're still, they are in the black. So they are continuing to
Get some new
increase the
equipment.
numbers. We did, yep. I think it's supposed to be delivered in March, the
Wow.
new piece of
month.
equipment. Yeah. I keep
Excellent.
saying I'm gonna get over and see it.
Yeah.
Is this to replace old equipment or is new capacity?
I know it's replacing one of the old pieces of equipment that we kept kind of band-aiding.
Okay.
And the cables, they weren't able to repair them. It was becoming a safety issue. So,
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right. Chief Executive Officer, update report.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, if it please the board, right now, I don't really have a hangar update. Mr. Natch is less convinced that this is the right way forward for him. We are working closely with him to try to provide all the available information he needs to make an executive level decision on this. But there is some discussion there going on and some consternation about the area around taxiway Bravo Bravo, where easements are, where lines are, where plumbing is, et cetera. And we're working as closely as we can with them to resolve that situation. And I would also offer, I'm going to make this a brief report, as I am over in Colorado for the Air and Space Force Association's meeting. It's not an accident that the names are so closely aligned to Mojave Air and Spaceport. There's been significant opportunities to potentially generate business here, and I'll be delighted to report to the board these things upon my return. Subject to your questions, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have any.
Hey, your report then, Dave?
Yeah.
No.
No questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No board committees. Item C, we have no committees.
No committee. Director comments at that time.
Director comments? Oh, yeah. Director comments on items not on the agenda.
I have a
Kathy?
comment. Just kudos for our new Hobby Air and Spaceport website. It's fabulous. It was Jason and Nicole.
Yeah, Jason and Nicole. Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
Just, it's friendly. I mean, it's exciting. You get there and there's all this flying and everything. But I mean, you scroll down and everything is boom, boom, boom right there. It's just, it's friendly and fun. So I just wanted to give them a shout out.
I haven't looked at it yet. I meant
Oh, you
last
have
night.
to. Oh,
I
my
haven't either,
gosh.
but I did see it on the.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. Really is.
Good.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Thank you, Kathy.
Any more comments? All right, we'll proceed to closed session.
Oh, boy.
You're all invited back.
Recording stopped.